Hello, welcome to the show. Today we're going to be exploring some secret hideaways on our beautiful west coast. But first, here's a look at what else is in store. Rom takes the road less travelled in the footsteps of a visionary adventurer. And a new direction for AFL legend Gavin Wanganeen. But first, here's Kelly.
Today I'm in the beautiful Hindmarsh Valley on a unique 600-acre farm. Here the Retallick family is raising a breed of animals described as quirky, charming and downright adorable. Have I got you curious? Well, I'm about to go on tour and meet them up close. The sign out front saying Softfoot might give you a clue. Joining a group of other curious visitors, owner Gary will lead the way. Perfect day for it, Gary.
Kelly. How'd you like to come and have a look at our wonderful farm today?
I can't wait. It's so green at the moment.
Let's go.
Thank you. And we're off. Only a few minutes into our drive, we spot some kangaroos. Just one of many resident Aussie species here. But the main attraction for us today are native to South America. Alpacas. They're like teddy bears, aren't they? I love the colour combo as well. They're like big balls of fluff.
Aren't they just so cute?
They are gorgeous. You just want to cuddle them. We stop right in the middle of a herd of females with their 3-month-old babies called crias. Unlike hoofed animals, these gentle creatures have soft, padded feet that have minimal impact on the environment. With their floppy tufts, slender necks and Bambi eyes, they really are gorgeous. Gorgeous and hungry. What do you got there?
We've got some nice loosening chaff here. Put a bit in the bowl.
Do they attack you? Like, do they come at you? Not like emus or anything?
They're alpaca.
Are they gentle?
They're the friendliest, lovely creatures you could want.
I just need to be prepared. Kneeling down to make ourselves smaller and less imposing, it's not long before I have my first customer. Bring your friends. Tell your friends to come. They've got such long eyelashes. You have pretty eyes. I don't know who is more interested in who, us in the alpacas or the alpacas in us.
Watch where you're going.
As you can hear, the alpacas are content. The reason you know that, because you can't hear them. We have 100 alpacas around us right now, not a sound is to be made. And that's what I enjoy about them. You make them content and it's a self-satisfaction.
To say Softfoot is one of Australia's most successful breeders and fleece producers is an understatement. Their trophy room can barely hold all of their awards. They've even sent animals to the Mongolian steppes so farmers there can restore their land damaged by cattle. Back on the buggies, we explore some more. With their eco-friendly philosophy, the family has planted thousands of trees, created wetlands that are full of bird life, and even have a breeding facility for endangered marsupials such as quolls and bettongs. At home base, it's time for a delicious barbecue lunch.
Thanks, Kelly, for coming out today. We've had a wonderful time. Alpacas, sunshine, and a splash in the creek.
Sure was a splash in the creek. The Softfoot Alpaca Farm offers a range of experiences, including nocturnal tours. On the 5th, 6th and 12th of October, they're hosting their annual shearing event with demonstrations and delicious food on offer. Just head to their website to book. Don't miss your chance to pat an alpaca.
Coming up, a trek through time to celebrate Federation.
Most weekends you'll find this crew out on a trail somewhere, and they can all thank an English migrant, the late Terry Lavender, for the track they're following today. His wife Anne, still a keen walker, remembers the wild and wintry day her husband abandoned one walk and hit upon the idea of a trek from Murray Bridge to Clare.
So totally different from what he'd been used to when doing the Hyson Trail in the various areas. And he just came up with this idea of we can build a trail across using volunteers, and at that stage we called it Federation Trail 1901.
This persuasive POM certainly embraced his new home, creating a trail celebrating the federation of a nation. He and others on today's walk convinced landowners to provide access to spectacular country like this. Terry Lavender had plenty of experience, having already mapped out the epic Hyson Trail, or as some have called it, the world's longest footpath, all 1,200 kilometres from Cape Jervis to the Flinders Ranges. So it was an epiphany on a wild and wintry day just outside of Murray Bridge that prompted an idea, another walking trail, taking in some of the lesser-known parts of South Australia and bringing walkers to secret hidden gems like this place, Truro Gorge. Local farmers have long had access to patches of paradise like this. Now the Lavender Federation Trail, as it's known, allows all of us to revel in that sense of discovery that comes when stumbling across treasures like this one.
325 kilometres from Murray Bridge through to Clare.
And a 21-year journey to get it to that point.
Yes, certainly. Been a long effort, but great cooperation between communities and individual towns. Been fantastic as the trails proceeded, how much cooperation has come in, particularly private landowners where we are now.
There are some travellers who are more ably suited to country like this, and you'll see plenty of them. We're a slightly more cumbersome lot. The stiles built by these volunteers will bring you to stone walls that have stood the test of time. You follow these man-made marvels and the many trail markers to the next intriguing stop. The Lavender Federation Trail's not just about epic vistas and hidden gorges, it's also about the history of this part of South Australia. And if you do the trail, you'll stumble across sweet little towns like this one, Dutton. The German headstones in the cemetery speak volumes about the God-fearing folk who came halfway across the world to establish their churches and schoolhouses here. It was a small community comprising the humble and the powerful.
The history of here is Francis Staker Dutton, who was twice Premier of South Australia, established this area, and he was responsible for a lot of the copper discoveries at Kapunda.
Heritage and hillsides to get the heart rate up as we push on from Dutton to our next hidden gem, the railway siding of Manoora. It's one of many side loop trails you can take, and the locals will thank you for it.
We hope Manoora will be able to benefit from these walkers.
In what way?
We've offered accommodation, backpacker, swag type accommodation up at the Centenary Park. If we know there's a big group coming, we'll do scones and coffee or whatever, so they just have to let us know.
The last train came through here in 1990. The trail makes the most of several disused rail tracks which once carried passengers and freight. Manoora harks back to the days of rail, but the trail itself incorporates other transport corridors, some of them hidden and never used.
What we didn't want to do was to go along main roads. And so what we were looking for were sort of trails like this we could utilise. Now, when the state was originally surveyed, these were reserves set up for roads which were expected to be used in the future. And the vast majority of them never were. But they still exist, they're still public property, and it's still possible for anybody to walk on the road reserves at any time.
A mosaic of old rail lines and the secret and forgotten road reserves of SA bring you to ridge lines where the scenery is breathtaking. Down in the distance, another mosaic of canola fields, cropping country and vineyards. Now we're nearing Clare, and for walker Roxanne Crook, vistas like this are what it's all about.
I've been walking it once a month since 2016, just over winter. I really love it. Most of the trail goes across private property, and so you get to see some parts of South Australia that not many people get to see.
And that's just as Terry Lavender planned it. His idea to create a trail of memories, now available to us all as part of the Lavender Federation Trail. For information, head to the trail website. And that region is...
After the break, an AFL great making his mark in the art world.
Gavin Wanganeen is the definition of a footy legend. Now retired, he played for Essendon and Port Adelaide. is a 2-time premiership winner, AFL Hall of Famer and Brownlow medalist. Now, he's found a new career as a talented artist. A descendant of the Kakatha people of the Western Desert in SA, he's inspired by the land, culture and stories of his Aboriginal heritage. Married to his lovely wife Pippa, he has 5 kids and lives in Adelaide.
What I love about being a proud South Australian and living here in this, wonderful state of ours here in SA is it's very easy to bring up a family. And myself, growing up as a young fella, I have family ties over on the Yorke Peninsula and Eyre Peninsula. Love both of those regions, and a special place for me is Port Victoria. Woodang Island, used to spearfish there, still do. Diving for abalones. Now that I'm a painter, it's given me a wonderful opportunity to learn more about, my culture, my mum's culture and my grandfather's stories and journeys are all intertwined into my art. This painting is called Star Dreaming. I'm imagining myself at the highest point in the universe, looking down with a view through the stars. So I'm above the stars, looking down to the ground, and that region is where my grandfather, my mum's from, which is the west coast of South Australia, near Ceduna. Every time I go back over to the Eyre Peninsula and I step foot on that country, I instantly feel a spiritual connection to that country. It's so weird. Pippa and I, we love having a coffee and, jump from cafe to cafe just because we like variety in our lives for some reason. I think we all do, really, don't we? But a couple of really nice restaurants. My personal favourite is Golden Boy. I love their Thai food and it's just so fresh and flavoursome. My go-to dish at Golden Boy is always the green chicken curry. I think only us Adelaideans know how special a place Adelaide is in South Australia is. We might cop a little bit of flack from the Easterners, but us South Australians, we know how special this place is.
Next, a tailor-made tour of the best of the West.
There is no shortage of beauty on the Eyre Peninsula, and it is so much fun to get out and explore. But how do you find those extra special secret places? Well, sometimes you just need a bit of help, and I know just who to ask. Hey, good to see you,
how are you?
Good, really good. Where are we going today?
Well, we're going to some of the region's most secret spots.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Let's go.
Rightio.
Dave Dowdle runs Going Off Safaris, based in Port Lincoln. And his business card has 4 of my favourite words on it: adventure, seafood, wildlife and scenery. Today, our crew is in his capable hands. After all, with 2,000 kilometres of breathtaking coastline on the peninsula, it helps to have an expert guide. But first, the seafood. This is the Sheller Door at Coffin Bay Pure Oysters. And we're just picking up lunch supplies from Chris. They're fresh off the lease this morning.
Nice big deep cup, which means the oyster is full.
Now we're off on our tailor-made tour through the Coffin Bay and Lincoln National Parks, which Dave has designed to showcase some of the best sites that we might not be able to reach on our own. After all, this kind of terrain does require a 4-wheel drive and some know-how. And this is the reward. Coffin Bay claims to have more dolphins per square metre than anywhere else in Australia.
Oh, they're really getting into it now.
Yeah.
Sort of like they're spreading out, ready to
launch.
I'm wondering if Dave has the best job in the world. His enthusiasm is contagious.
Day to day, everything changes. It's amazing to see the reaction of people, though, our clients that we take around, because they don't get to see a lot of this every day of their life. So we're a bit lucky.
Back on the track, we're cruising around meeting more locals, both leathery and feathery. And having a heap of fun in Lincoln National Park's enormous sand dunes.
Like Lawrence of Arabia, but with a bit more horsepower.
Oh,
my goodness!
It's easy to see why this unspoiled region and Going Off safaris are attracting international attention.
Just beautiful beaches, you got the ruggedness of the coastline, great sandy dunes as we've just experienced, where you can four-wheel drive, and there's a lot of wildlife here as well.
For our picnic lunch, Dave knows a breathtaking spot on the beach sheltered from the wind. Knowledge of how the weather impacts upon different locations is another upside to a local guide.
We use it as an advantage, particularly our clients' point of view, where they might want to go to the beautiful beach to swim, or the right place to go to fish, or even when it's wild during the winter, they want to see the most explosive wave action, if you like. So we're always checking out the different weather apps to make sure that this place can be sheltered, a beautiful place for lunch, you know, just so we can be where everyone's going to be in a nice environment.
I can hear my name being called by a plump fresh prawn and a chilled local Sauvignon Blanc. And let's not forget those oysters.
Tickety-boo. Beautiful, beautiful. We're very blessed here.
We are.
All right, cheers girls. Beautiful.
There's another local facet to Going Off safaris, and that's the luxury accommodation that Dave and his wife Mandy can offer guests with a prime waterfront spot on the Port Lincoln Marina. South Point Beach House is a relaxed but stylish 2-storey, 4-bedroom home with plenty of living space and thoughtful touches throughout. With a fully equipped kitchen, you can cater for the whole family and friends, or just spread out and keep the whole house to yourself for a romantic getaway. The master bedroom is just enormous. And how's this for a view from a balcony?
It's just very relaxing. It's something they've really looked forward to spending their time there, away from everyone else.
But we're not done on our tour just yet. There's one more fascinating place tucked off the beaten track. Mikara Station is home to a colony of wild koalas, though chilled is a better description. Their manna gum perches are so stunted you get an eye-level view of these normally lofty layabouts. Going Off safaris can design a tour to match your interests, be they fishing, food and wine, trekking, or even underwater adventures. Fully supported and catered, all you have to do is show up ready for fun.
Well, I have had an amazing day on the Eyre Peninsula. I hope you've enjoyed it nearly as much as I have, but frankly, I'm just a little bit exhausted. Before I go though, here's a look at what's coming up in our next show.
We'll be taking a break next week, but we hope you can join us in a fortnight when Kelly gets a taste of a new venture for a Barossa family dynasty. And we find out why the international fashionistas are clamouring for Adelaide designs.
That's next time on SA Weekender. We look forward to your company then.